Before we begin this special episode, I want to say this clearly. What you're about to hear isn't a typical IFS meditation or teaching or insight. It's a real-time reflection on grief, complexity, and how we stay human when the world feels impossible. Events are still unfolding. I don't have all the facts. I don't have clean answers. But I do have presence, and I'm offering it here. Let's begin. I want to begin by naming something honestly. I'm recording this episode while things are still unfolding, not because I have clarity, not because I have answers, but because more has happened and staying silent just didn't feel right. This last month has felt like a wound that keeps reopening. In Minneapolis, Renee Nicole Good was killed during a federal immigration enforcement operation. A mother, a neighbor, a human being. And then, just a few days ago, Alex Jeffrey Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, someone who cared for veterans, someone known for his quiet compassion, was also shot and killed by federal agents. 2 names, 2 lives, 2 families, same city, close together. And if you're asking, what does this have to do with IFS? I really have a passion for getting more self-energy to the world. And my intention is that this episode could maybe do that just a little. So I want to say the names of Renee and Alex slowly, because I don't want them flattened into arguments or headlines. Renee Nicole Good. Alex Jeffrey Preddy. These are not abstractions. These are not symbols. They are people. And while those tragedies were unfolding, other stories continued alongside them, stories that haven't received the same attention, but carry just as much weight. I have friends from Iran, people who fled a theocratic regime where religious conversion can mean imprisonment, torture, or death. People came here seeking asylum, believing this country might be a place where faith and conscience wouldn't cost them their lives. Some of them are Christians. Some are other religious minorities. All of them carry fear in their bodies. Recently, some asylum seekers, including Iranian Christians, have been detained or deported, sent back to the places where their lives may be in real danger. This isn't policy to me. It's not theory. It's people I know, stories I've heard face to face, fear I felt sitting across from someone wondering if they'll survive being sent back. So when we talk about ICE, enforcement, borders, and safety, I can't do it abstractly. There are bodies attached to these decisions. As all of this unfolded, the noise grew louder. Statements, counterstatements. At one point, a Trump-appointed federal prosecutor posted online suggesting that people who approach law enforcement while armed should expect to be shot. The NRA publicly pushed back, calling that framing dangerous, arguing that lawful gun ownership should not make someone presumptively expendable and urging restraint until investigations are complete. And I want to tell you what happened inside me when I read that. Before I had thoughts, I had sensation, tightness in my chest, heat in my body, a sinking feeling in my gut. Then the parts arrived. A part of me felt rage, a part that wanted certainty right now, a part that wanted clear villains and clean answers, a part that wanted to speak loudly, and a part that wanted to shut down completely. Then another protector showed up, a part that wanted to dismiss the NRA response instantly, a part that said, of course they'd say that, a part that wanted to collapse everything into a familiar narrative. And I had to slow myself down because that reaction, that reflex, was also a protector. And here's something about me that matters here. And I have parts that are conflicted about sharing about me, but I carry a hillbilly elegy kind of story in my bones, not as an idea, as lived experience. I come from southern tip of Appalachia, from people who worked hard, trusted authority, respected the badge, believed in personal responsibility, and carried deep suspicion toward elites telling them how to live. A world where guns weren't abstractions, where faith mattered, where loyalty was survival, where chaos was feared because it was familiar. And that world shaped me. And it also cost my family dearly. My parents died young, not because they didn't love me, but because hard lives, economic strain, stress, limited access to care, that takes a toll over time. That loss shaped me too. Later in graduate school, something unexpected happened. I was taken in emotionally, relationally, by an African American pastor and his wife in Oakland. I met them while I was doing a summer internship. And they became like parents to me for a time when I moved to the Bay Area to go to seminary. They fed me. They housed me for free. They taught me. They corrected me. They loved me. And they did not let me romanticize my story or weaponize theirs. They helped me see the United States from another angle, one shaped by race, history, policing, faith, endurance, and grief that didn't look like mine, but was just as real and valid. That mattered, and it still does. And some say that I've also become pretty progressive. And if that's the case, it's not because I rejected where I came from, but because life widened me. I've lived long enough and close enough to see how systems land differently depending on who you are. I've walked alongside refugees. I've listened to stories of persecution. I've seen how power touches bodies. And I've still got a lot of growth and learning to do. But when moments like this happen, when enforcement meets fear, when rhetoric hardens, when people die, I don't experience it from one side. I feel it from many. There's a part of me that understands the fear officers carry, the danger of escalation, the reality of split-second decisions. There's a part of me shaped by Black elders who taught me to be cautious about power and slow to trust institutions with unchecked force. There's a part of me that carries Appalachian grief and loyalty. And there's a part of me that refuses to accept a world where certain deaths are explained away before they're even grieved. Sometimes these parts argue. Sometimes they exhaust me. And sometimes this is the gift of the work I do. They sit next to each other. All true. This is where internal family systems has changed me. Because I no longer ask which side is right. I ask, what is each part trying to protect me from? The certainty-seeking part is protecting me from fear. The dismissive part is protecting me from vulnerability. The shutdown part is protecting me from heartbreak. None of these parts are bad. But when they take over, something vital disappears. I lose curiosity. I lose compassion. I lose clarity. I lose, and we all lose, our shared humanity. And the world right now doesn't need more reactivity. It needs steadiness. I'll add a few more layers of honesty. I have connections with people in Minneapolis, including folks connected to the church whose worship service was interrupted by protesters last week. That's another place where I've felt the pull from multiple directions at once. Real fear, real anger, real faith, real pain. I also have friends who knew people who worked alongside Alex Preddy, people who knew him as a colleague, as someone who showed up for his patients, as someone who cared. His death isn't theoretical to them. It's grief. It's loss. It's someone they knew being gone. And I'll name one more place this same tension shows up. I have people I love dearly and closely who are gender diverse. And I also know people whose faith or upbringing makes this deeply confusing or frightening. I've watched fear grow on both sides. Fear of being erased, fear of being harmed, fear of losing something sacred. Again, no clean storyline, just people. Here's the nuance I'm trying to hold without collapsing. It is possible to believe law enforcement work is dangerous and that officers deserve safety and support. It's also possible at the same time to insist that when the state uses lethal force, transparency and accountability are non-negotiable. It is possible to care deeply about lawful gun ownership and recoil at the idea that being armed makes someone disposable. It is possible to care deeply about public safety and be alarmed by how quickly guns escalate outcomes. It is possible to care about borders and law and care about refugees fleeing persecution. It is possible to hold faith, tradition, and conscience and care deeply about racial justice and gender equality and dignity. It is dangerous to normalize the idea that anyone should expect violence. And it is dangerous to deny the fear present in high-risk encounters. These are not opposing truths unless fear forces them to be. Self-energy allows me to say, every life is grievable. Every system wielding lethal force must answer for how it uses it. No one becomes less human because of ideology, uniform, race, passport, belief, identity, or protest. I want to make this practical. When the news hits and I feel myself flooding, when I read about Renee and Alex and deportations and protests and statements, I pause. I notice my body. I name the parts. There's a part of me that's furious. There's a part of me that is scared. There's a part of me that wants certainty. There's a part of me that wants to shut down. I don't argue with them. I don't shame them. I let them know I see them. Then I take one real deep breath. Feel my feet. Feel my body here. And I ask a question I trust more than my reactivity. From the deepest, wisest place in me, what does this moment actually need? Sometimes the answer is action. Sometimes it's listening. Sometimes it's grief without resolution. Right now it's this. Say the names. Tell the human stories. Refuse easy narratives. Stay human. I don't fit neatly anywhere anymore. I don't belong fully to the outrage machine of the left, and I don't belong to the hard certainty on the right. I belong in the messy middle of lived experience, where people are more complicated than ideologies, where fear and care coexist, where justice and compassion must walk together. I don't want to become someone who can explain suffering without feeling it. And I don't want to become someone who feels so much that I stop thinking. I want to stay awake. I want to stay honest. I want to stay human. Renee Nicole Good mattered. Alex Jeffrey Preddy mattered. My Iranian friends matter. The people worshiping in that church matter. The colleagues who knew and worked with Alex matter. My Black mentors and spiritual parents matter. Gender diverse people matter. People who are afraid matter. And how we respond inside ourselves first matters more than we know. Not louder, steadier, not more certain, more present. I'm practicing this alongside you, not from a mountaintop, not with clean answers, from inside the work. Thanks for being here.